Hopefully you're familiar with the system a little bit, but everybody's got more to learn, I'm sure, about that. So we'll jump right into it. And I'm going to start with a little bit of a teaser to see if anybody has thoughts on how we could take these images and all weave them together in some kind of narrative or purpose for this presentation. Anybody have thoughts? We know Matt's got ideas if there's not food in his mouth.
I was going for it's like shooting scouts in a barrel. I'm struggling with the hey, we get more scouts, they sell more stuff, and it all ties back to our social media. It's about driving more members. But I still don't get the Elmer Fudd.
The Elmer Fudd, and did you tie in the popcorn yet? No? All right.
I'm going with there are lots of ways to reach out to people.
Yeah?
Including Elmer Fudd.
Including Elmer Fudd. Good. I'm going to leave this hanging for a bit so everybody stays engaged and they want to know what the answer is. So we'll move on. We have a lot of nuts and bolts on how Be a Scout works, and it's not all that interesting, but hopefully you're thinking Elmer Fudd in the background and you want to hear what happens with that guy. So this is our agenda for the evening. Hopefully this is a checklist that you can keep track and make sure that you met all your objectives and you know each of these areas, maybe not in detail or as much detail as I am, but you know where to find them, you know what purpose they serve, and if you need to get answers to these areas, you can, you know where to go for that. Be a Scout, as you know, is kind of the front side of the our recruitment system. It's where most people end up when they're looking for a Scout unit. You simply go in here, enter your zip code, what programs you're interested in, do a search, and it will find all the units nearby that qualify for that search. So first you want to be able to stand out. This is our bend area. You can see that there's all kind of pins and places to choose from. If you click on each one of these, you can see some more information about each unit. Since it's kind of hard to see on the map, I'm going to pull this up and you can compare units. And right off the bat, you can see that some units might jump out a little bit more than others. PAC 90's got a lot of information, contact information here. The two that are maybe a little bit closer to the center of the zip code, not quite as much. So it's important to make sure that your best foot is facing forward and you populate that with useful information. I pulled up ours as well because you can add a website to it as well, or a Facebook page or something. So really get people interested in what you're doing, and that kind of ties into the presentation last week from Jennifer a little bit. So how do we manage these? If you go to your My.Scouting account, you have to be one of your key 3 members of your unit or a delegate, as we'll talk about later. If you go to menu and then pull up your unit, and then I believe it is, there's a couple different places. I went to Organization Manager. And you can see that on the left side is unit pin. And boom, this is all the information that people see on the front end of the site. So you want to make sure that your Be a Scout is turned on, that you can let people apply online. Part of this might due to being recharter season, and not everybody's charter has been processed yet, but you can see that PAC 81, we can go and apply right now. PAC 31 and PAC 90 don't have that right now. It might be due to recharter, but you want to make sure that yours is turned on, because otherwise you can't get new units or new members. As the email went out earlier, starting April 1st, we're not going to accept any more paper applications, so you need to do it electronically, and this is the way to do it. You can add your unit website. You can add some additional information to make you sound more exciting than the next PAC. You can turn on all these different pieces of information on your pin, contact information. So I highly recommend doing that. You can identify where your pin actually is placed on the map. And occasionally I see little glitches where if somebody had something reset, their pin kind of defaults to the middle of whatever zip code that they're in. So if you just go and click locate and save, all this stuff will be saved and it usually takes 24 hours to process. So if you don't see an immediate change to your information, that's okay. Give it a day and check back. So this should address 2 of our bullet points, PIN management and turning on online applications. The other thing you want to check is back under settings. There's a couple useful pieces of information here. This is our key 3. A little bit down further, if you want to become a family pack, which we highly recommend, down here under types of youth applicants as pack accepts, you can do both boys and girls if you are a Cub Scout pack. I will talk about this now since we happen to be here. For accepting adult applications, this is not just something that your committee chair or Cub master can do. Typically, as you know, your charter organization rep needs to approve all adult applications. And you can choose the second option to require both your committee chair and your charter organization rep to approve adult applications. I would recommend having your committee chair be involved, because the more screening you have in your adults, if you want to make sure that we have qualified and upstanding adults in our ranks. And I would think your charter organization rep would be the last stop on that. And they probably want to make sure that somebody's making a good call on that before it gets to their desk. Any questions so far on PIN management?
When does a chartered representative see the application to approve or not approve?
Excellent question. We will get to that with the next couple areas of our presentation. So now we're moving into.
Before you move on, how do you pay the fees with the online applications?
So this is one of the nice things about online applications is that you as a unit do not have to worry about collecting registration fees. When the applicant submits their interest, they will be prompted to put in their credit card, and that will pay the BSA registration fees automatically. All you have to do is worry about collecting your unit dues, which is whenever you want to do that.
Eric, we did have one question in the chat, and I think you're probably going to cover it, but I just want to make sure it's out there. When we get to delegates, the question was, can charter org reps be delegated?
Yes, we will get to the delegates.
Yep.
So if you are a member of I believe the key 3 for your unit, whenever you get a lead on Be a Scout or an application, you should be getting an email like this, and they come out twice a week for leads and twice a week for applications. So if you are not getting this and you are a member of the key 3, your unit leader or committee chair, that is a problem that we would like to fix. And I will talk more about the importance of that later. But you should be getting these. Please don't ignore them. Please make sure your leads are getting addressed. So when you get those emails, something like this, where do you go to find them? You go to your My Scouting, kind of the launch pad for all of this. Go to menu. So under your unit, you should have application manager and invitation manager. They basically take you the same place, but we'll start with invitation manager, which will show any leads you have pending. And then you can click on applications and jump to application manager here. Actually, what I'd like to do is jump into the council so we can have some information to see there. Okay, so this is same place, but this is council-wide, so I can see what all is in there from all our fantastic units out there. If you want, you can download a QR code for your unit, which allows people to take a picture and go straight to your unit to sign up, or you can copy a URL and put that on your website or your social media pages. And again, that'll take people straight to your PIN to apply. When you have a lead, you should see under Invitation Manager all the leads interested in your unit and their current status. So as you can see, council-wide, we have about over 40 leads currently pending. When somebody is brand new, it'll show new here. And if you check them, at least, then it'll automatically say opened. So if I click on this one here, we can see that Lorraine Martinelli at least check to see what's going on here. And that's kind of auto-generated by the system as soon as you look at it as the unit in charge of, or one of the key 3 of that unit. From here, I can't because I'm not assigned to this unit, but you should be able to send an application. You could reassign this back to the district because this person isn't a good fit for you. You can close the lead, you can respond to the lead, which will basically just pop up an email with your default email application, and you can send a quick message to them. I would highly recommend putting notes in here to say what's going on, because as someone in charge of membership for the council, I'm trying to make sure that we're having prompt follow-up with our leads. And I'll talk more about that in a moment.
If you click on that respond to lead button, I can't get that to actually open an email. I've been copying the email address from the lead over to my Gmail account and responding that way. Is there a way to get that to go to my Gmail?
It's a good question. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even use it all that much, because when I click it and it opens it up in Outlook, it has some pre-written thing that I don't even want. So I honestly don't even bother with it. It's probably because I have a separate application here.
It will only open the default application in Windows.
Okay.
So if you use Gmail and you don't have it in Outlook or in the whatever the default is for mail application, it won't go to a web app.
Thank you.
Sure. And I would suggest as well, it'd be really nice if people could put in comments as they move leads along, so people know the status. As you can see, I reached out to this person because they applied in December 22nd and never heard from anybody. I felt bad. So I sent them a quick email. It turns out that the pack that they were interested in no longer exists after Recharter. They kind of disbanded a while back. So I at least put a note here to show, my colleagues here in the council what's going on with that particular lead.
A little off topic, but could you send that particular lead to pack 27?
Sure. Yeah, let me see if I can do it. Oh, I think if I reassign, yeah, I don't know if I can do it from here, but yeah, I will do that.
Thank you.
Another interesting thing to note, I saw, where is it? We got Jay Bunning here. Jay Bunning is so excited to join Scouts that he reached out to 2 different units on the same day. And he is waiting to hear back from any of them. And from what I can tell, it looks like nobody's checked it yet. So this status shows me who's checked the lead and how long it's been pending. Wow, we got 3 just today. 3 leads. Nice. It'll also show if you've sent them an application, it'll change this to sent. So again, a good way to see where a lead status is. If somebody has formally applied, you can go to the application manager, either from this window or from the main screen like I showed you, and it'll show any pending applications. We can see council-wide, we have 1 youth application pending and 1 adult application pending. And this is Mr. Jurgen, it's got an M there because he's registered in multiple units. So adults can apply on Be a Scout just like youth can. If you are logged into the My Scouting, it'll automatically populate a lot of that information. So I'm just going to show here if I was applying to that pack. It'll ask if I'm a youth or adult. And then it'll give me a warning saying I'm already registered. Do I want to transfer, or do I want to continue to register dually in 2 different units? So the system is pretty set up to be able to handle most things we can throw at it at this point.
How would you handle like merit badge application, or like people moving from volunteers to committee members?
To my knowledge, Jim can chime in, but to my knowledge, merit badge counselors have not been adopted into this yet. That's kind of a district and council position.
No, actually, Eric, we can do merit badge counselors. So a merit badge counselor is registered on the district level. And there's a link that they can use to go on and do, to register on the district level. So they have the ability to do that there. I'll put the link in the chat to do the district level things. I know we're allowing at this point in time transfers from unit to unit. That can be done. I believe the internal change is still in development, as far as that will be one of those situations. There will be a few situations where we'll still need a paper applications. I do believe, and Matt, if I'm wrong, and you know that, holler to that, but I do believe that the internal unit transfer is still on paper, but it's coming because they've been updating this about every 3 months right now. And I think that's the next thing we're going to add to it.
Yeah, that merit badge counselor link in the chat would be helpful. Thank you.
I will put that up right now. There's a link I'll put up that talks about how to register on the district or council level. And then each district has a link. The other thing about merit badge counselors is after we receive those applications for a new merit badge counselor, Jody Stonebrook from our office will reach out to them with an additional form because we need to know what merit badges they want to counsel. I don't believe that's built into the online system yet. So there will be a follow-up from us to get them a merit badge counselor link so they can get added in there.
Would it be appropriate for us to email Jody, proactively on that, or should we wait?
Sure. Sure,
Okay.
we can. Yeah, you can always reach. Jody will be our key contact in the office or anything like that. But yes, you would reach to her. And if you need some help with that, she can help you out.
Thank you very much.
Quick question, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm becoming district commissioner from training chair, how do I go about doing that at a district level on transfer?
I can take care of that for you. Jody and I can take care of that for you. And then we'll give you
Okay.
access to the system. So you get more
Okay,
knowledge.
thanks.
You can see everything that Eric sees, basically.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, National seems to be making a lot of updates. I've heard that they are going to soon make it so that we can change roles within a unit in the near future. So there's lots more coming, but this happens to be where we are today. One thing when processing youth versus adult applications, for youth, you can just go in and accept it. For adults, it still is that two-step process. So if you are set up so that your committee chair needs to recommend an adult application, when your committee chair logs in, there at the bottom will be a button here to recommend, I think, or approve. And so that basically is the committee chair's blessing to go on to the next stage. There is background information here if they have to disclose anything, so it's always good to look at that. And then once the committee chair is approved, it'll go to the charter organization rep, and they will have to do the same thing. It looks the same way. So you should be familiar with how this works if you're a committee chair, because you might need to educate your charter organization rep on how this works. I've even done this with my charter organization rep on the phone. There is a mobile app for myscouting.org, and you can approve stuff on your phone. It's pretty simple if you just know how to do that and you have a little bit of technology savvy to do it. I have found that if there is some disclosure requirements, that you actually have to scroll through and check off that, yes, I've read that and it's fine. If it's kind of a major thing, it might need the Scout executive's approval as well. But otherwise, if there's nothing there, it's pretty straightforward and it all goes through easily. Any other questions on processing applications and invitation manager? All right, so let's go back. We hit up the organization manager already. So the next step would be the organization security manager. So again, if you go into your unit, under organization manager will be organization security manager. Again, this is limited to your key 3. even if you're not a key 3 and you're on this call, thank you for joining. And if your key 3 needs help with this, now you know how to help them. So it'll list those key 3, and it also lists functional positions, which is the ability for you as a key 3 to delegate some responsibilities to other members of your team, which, depending on your availability and proficiency with this kind of stuff, may be a good idea. So I've delegated registration inquiry to our new membership chair, registration inquiry person, Tammy. I haven't tested this, but I'm pretty sure that she should at least get those notification emails. And she should be able to log in and look at Invitation Manager. She might not be able to do anything like send an application or reassign, but she should at least be able to get the contact information and start a dialogue with that lead. If you really need help, you could select a key 3 delegate or a COR delegate. I don't particularly recommend it, but I'm not going to run your unit for you. So a key 3 delegate would basically give somebody all the permissions that you have. The COR delegate would also have those same permissions plus the ability to approve adult applications. So if that's what you need to make your unit run, those options are available for you. There may be any questions or good stories that have used that more than I do.
So how do you go through and designate a COR delegate?
Okay, good question. I probably can't because I'm not a COR, but I can do the other ones.
Okay. So that I think that is a key point where you just said like the COR has to be the delegate.
Yeah, the CO, you'd have to, if you needed to help your COR do that, you'd have to sit down with them and kind of show them how to do that.
All right. So me as a committee chair, I could delegate that if I wanted to, but my COR has to be logged in and then can delegate the COR. Got it.
Yep. So if I was to delegate my, oh wow, is it gonna let me do that? No. If I was to delegate my position, you click on it and then you click this little plus button and it'll bring up the list of all the adults in your unit. And you can select which one you want, click the effective date and save, and it'll lock them in. And I did notice that when recharter rolled around, it doesn't continue year over year. So I had to go back and reset these a week or so ago. Gary, question?
Yeah, so I was actually doing this today to delegate. We have an advancement chair that needed access, but it wouldn't let me make his expiration date any longer than just next month. And then when we tried to delegate a committee chair as well, just to see, it's the maximum expiration date it was giving anyone in our unit was next month. Any idea what that was?
Gary, what pack or troop are you with?
Troop 7.
I'm going to guess that your recharter is not processed yet.
Oh, okay. That might make sense. We just couldn't figure it out today at all. I mean, I got us all in, but it says we're all going to expire like in 3 or 4 days from now.
Can you add different positions to that list?
Yeah,
You cannot add. You cannot add additional roles to that list that's there. That's the roles you have to pick from at this point in time.
And I'll also offer Eric, I am a key 3, so I just logged in and tried to do it, and I can do key 3 delegates. I cannot do the charter organization rep. So you would have to log in with your charter organization rep to do a COR delegate, which is new because we definitely had one last year. So that's a new restriction.
Any other questions on that? Okay. So hopefully you can see there's a lot of tools and flexibility in here to make things a little bit easier. Maybe it's more than you need, but hopefully there's a solution for you if you need it. Any other questions on kind of the functionality of the system before we kind of get back to our little pictures and stories and other fun stuff? Okay. I threw this up. I used some of these pictures last year when I did a BS Scout presentation. And it dovetails a little bit in with the presentation last week from Jennifer Stevens. And she talked about social media marketing, earned marketing. And I view this as the other side of the coin for that, which is be a scout and actually landing applications and closing them. The fisherman here and Elmer Fudd is really the difference between hunting and fishing, right? So social media and stuff that the council does is kind of creating market awareness. You're throwing out your lure, you're hoping somebody nibbles. That's all fine and good if you don't seal the deal and pull them in. And so hunting is a little bit more proactive, and you're actually trying to put some food on the table. Be a scout is kind of that in-between stage where a lot of passive marketing can accrue to you that way, but it's also now the focal point for landing new members. And I included the popcorn guy down here because I was thinking about it a couple weeks ago. And whether it's Boy Scout popcorn or Girl Scout cookies, the beauty of that system is that those the producers of those products have a vast militia of sales reps that are willing to rise when called upon every year and sell the hell out of those things, right? But it's not me in a uniform that sells a lot of popcorn. If I'm selling popcorn in my uniform, it's really because the person I'm selling to is already sold on scouting. The thing that sells scouting, that closes deals, is the actual kids in uniform. And when it comes to membership, the thing that closes, that secures membership is leaders following up with people, and it's units having an excellent program and really welcoming people into their fun program. I just pulled together some statistics today, so these are very fresh. If we look back over the last 6 months, by the way, if you have a lead on Invitation Manager, the system will automatically delete it after 60 days. So we are on a clock to make sure that we reach out and try and welcome those families into scouting. If we look over the last 3 months, about 58% of the leads were timed out. So nobody brought any conclusion to that lead from what we could tell. 42% were closed by the unit. So they looked at it, they did something with it, and they closed it on their own, meaning that either they decided it wasn't a good fit for them, or they sent them an application and actually brought in the lead. Is that all right, Jim? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm just shaking my head thinking about those opportunities we've.
So on the new lead side, if we look just in 2021, there's still some leads pending from last year, but new leads, 43% of them have been looked at, 16% have been sent an application, and 41% have not been looked at yet and not even been contacted. By the numbers, that's 36 new leads so far this year in 2021. So 41% of 36 have not been contacted. 11 of those 36 have not been contacted for more than a week. And that's what's going to be tough for us to grow scouting and to make our council better and our units better, because it makes the unit look bad, it makes us look bad. And so that's what we're going to try and fix. And that's why we wanted to educate everybody and kind of spread the gospel of Be a Scout, how to use it, how to make it work for you, because we're looking to, as a council, improve that. If you just kind of multiply that out, 36 leads in 1 month. If we did that for 12 months, that would be 432 new scouts this year. That would be awesome. Matt, where would that put us area wide or region wide?
I mean, you would think that would put you pretty close to the top of the country.
That would be a 24% growth over our year-end 2020 total, which is honestly probably high because it includes people that have dropped and are not re-registering. So on the low end, 24% growth rate. If we just land the people that have already expressed interest. There's kids out there that want to do something fun. Their parents took the time to contact us and they're not hearing back. So let's see how we can improve that. So,
And,
need-
and I'd offer up anecdotally, everybody says that scouts don't join Scout BSA troops. They only join packs. My troop had 2 scouts join off of Be a Scout. Little social media, paying attention to Be a Scout, and we brought in a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old. So you can
in the last 6 months.
Yeah, during COVID. So come up with all the excuses you want to give your committee. But if a troop can take 2 scouts at 15 and bring them in, this does work. Erik's preaching the gospel here.
So our new kind of expectations are, just so you know, automatic emails go out twice a week for leads and twice a week for applications. If you're not getting them, that's a problem I would love to help solve for you, because we want the system to work. We don't want a lot of people doing a lot of extra work trying to compensate for the system not working. I'm happy to go to bat for you guys and do what I can to make sure the system is working. We are going to start checking and monitoring these leads more proactively as a council. And if a lead is pending for a week, you will get an email. Your committee chair will get an email reminding you of what leads are pending, and your unit commissioner will be copied on that. So hopefully they can help check in and make sure that things are working properly. If after 7 days, somebody still hasn't been contacted on Be a Scout, then council staff will be calling the committee chair and bugging you, finding out what's going on. Occasionally there's stuff that comes up, we get it, but you know, again, it looks bad for you, it looks bad for all the rest of us. If I have to go and call somebody that didn't get called by somebody across town and now they're interested, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry that they didn't contact you, you know, but come check us out. We want to avoid all that. We would like every unit to be healthy and grow. And if after 14 days, somebody hasn't been contacted at all, from what we can tell, then, you know, we need to get in touch with that person. That's really not fair to them at that point. So the staff and membership committee, we will reach out to that person and figure out what's a good place, like what's a good home for them, and start the ball rolling. And like I showed you an invitation manager, we will be sure to put notes in there. So if the unit or whatever the next unit wants to know where that's at, there'll be a record of who contacted that person and kind of what's going on. You know, as a council, and me specifically as you know, somebody involved in membership, I am more than happy to help people that want help. I'm not willing to do your job for you. So we want to make sure that everybody's doing their job. If you're having problems doing your job, you know, we'll get you the resources you need. We'll get you the solutions. But you know, any one person doesn't have the ability to take on work that should be being done by somebody else when you agree to the position that you're in.
And just real quick, so the staff person that will be the reach out is, her name's Carrie Alonzo. She's also our scout shop clerk here in Central Point. So you'll be seeing emails. I would ask if to talk, and sometimes you might end up with a committee chairman. You might not be in that role. If you get that email, let us know. We'll try to find the right person. But please work with her and let your unit know to work with her. And she's not going to know all the details of what's happening in your unit, like a DE would, but she's going to be that contact person that we can't send it out to you. So you're just reminded. It's just a push to remind you. We all get busy, that those parents are waiting for somebody to reach out to them.
So, and like I just floated up here, nobody really wants to get down to this last step. It'd be great if emails come in, people contact their prospects and applicants and process that, and everything just works like it's supposed to. I have no interest in trying to take away people's leads. I just want to welcome families into scouting and minimize work for everybody.
How are the leads created? Like, say a family moves into a community and they're interested in scouting. They don't know who to contact. So how do you get started with that lead?
Right here on Be a Scout. You go to beascout.org. I showed it at the beginning. You plug in your zip code and what program you're interested in, and it'll bring up all the options. And then, oh, wow, Troop 17 looks cool. I'm going to request more information.
No, my question is, how do they even know about being a scout? They want to be in the scouting program, but how do they start
Most, Ted, most
to
of our,
become a
most of our,
lead,
yeah, most of
to
our
become a
30-year-old
lead.
most of our 30-year-old parents out there are going to go out to Google and they're going to Google join Cub Scouts in Klamath Falls or join Cub Scouts and, sometimes it might be join youth programming. And again, we'll look to put advertising out. That'll also be a way to get people to come to leads. We've bought 40 larger banners to place around our communities that will talk about going to be a scout. So we're, as a council, we're going to look at ways to get that Be a Scout name in front of more and more people. They're not actually going to Google. That's how people are finding us right now. All those January leads, they probably went to our friend, Mr. Google, and said, I want to join scouting, or I'm looking for a youth program. And that stuff is popping up and they're finding it that way. But as an organization, right, not just the council, but every unit and all we do, the more we can share that Be a Scout, brand out there will help generate those leads. But right now, that's what you saw there. Most of those folks probably just, they did a Google search or an internet search and it's brought up the website.
Charlotte as quartermaster, Maggie as leader.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to build market awareness. I have these sitting on my desk. I was going to drop them off at the library. They're cool little scout bookmarks. Leave them around. Social media is a way to get, doing, if we can ever go back to school and do those back to school events, that's all building market awareness. There's tons of different ways to do that. Like Jennifer said last week, we can spend a ton of money building market awareness, but if people aren't following up on the leads that we got, it's kind of a waste of money. So we want to fix the back end, and then the council will take care of the front end, and the units can take care of the front end. If you want marketing strategies, we got tons of ideas for you, and they work in COVID times and not COVID times. Actually, it's a good story real quick. So COVID, a lot of people are saying, oh, I can't do anything with COVID. There's, it shut us down. My pack gained 14 new scouts the last half of 2020 with COVID. And we did a recruiting event. We had to adapt our strategy. And then somebody actually got more scouts than us. Pack 90 in Bend got something like 16 scouts. I said, how did they do that? And Kim goes and talks to them and says, we didn't do anything. We just had a good program. We have a calendar of events. We have leaders, adults that volunteer, and we knew what our costs were, and we could tell people what it costs to join scouting. They didn't do anything special. So if we're doing the things that we're supposed to do, and with a little bit of market awareness, people will find us and want to join.
Be thinking
And we as commissioners can go in and check up on our unit just like you did, right, Eric?
my
Yes, you should be.
like to do
Yeah, okay.
in the
Yeah,
next year.
we should be.
Places you'd like.
Was that Janelle talking in the background, or was that somebody else?
Your program.
That's Janelle. She's on her troop meeting.
Okay. All right. So if you need help, this is kind of the general order you want to get help in. First, self-help is always the best. It's the quickest. You don't need to rely on anybody else for help. Go to our website. Let me pull that up. I know Jim and the rest of the staff has spent a lot of time building out our website. If you go to Leader Resources, I think, Be a Scout online app, tools and forms, Be a Scout online applications. It actually kicks you to a national site, but it's got everything you need to know. It's redundant to most of what I covered today. They've got videos showing you how to do the invitation manager, adding the COR delegate. There's invitation manager, there's adding leads, application manager. It's all there, it's all in one spot. And I would recommend, actually, I came upon this a while ago, this kind of first link, the unit guidebook. It's a policy manual, it's like 30 pages. It's not fun to read, but it has answered every question I have had about online applications. So if you want to know why you get emails some days from leads and other times it takes 3 days, the answer is in there. It's a weird answer, but the answer is in there. Talk to your unit commissioner. We try and assign a unit commissioner to every unit, and hopefully they're not too overwhelmed. So, they should be learning this stuff too and be kind of a frontline help. I'm happy to help. I would love to build out a membership committee. I was told once that if you look at the scouting organizational chart, whether it's a unit or a district or a council, there's usually a program, there's finance, and there's membership. And I was told once that membership is the fun committee because you get to go and drink the Kool-Aid and evangelize. It's great. So I would love people to help out. Specifically, I would love people that a representative in each district to help that knows the community and can help build scouting and knows where we need to grow scouting and work and help each unit grow. And I would love to have a representative for each program, specifically, Explore Posts and SHIPS and some of the programs that I'm not as familiar with. It'd be great to have some resources there. So I'd like to build out a committee and hopefully that can be a resource to everybody. And lastly, district executive and council staff. Obviously they're the backstop. They're the ones that need to know everything. The only problem with them is that they're limited in quantity. So we don't want to overwhelm them as the first line of defense. But they should be able to help us when nobody else can. If you pull up this file, it looks like this. And it's got lots of pretty colors and things and shows you exactly where to go throughout the system. It was very professionally done. So like I said, I know that's probably small for you guys, but you can see it pretty much answers every question I've had. So are there any, thank you for taking the time. This is really important. It's not the most fun topic in the world. I'm sure you'd rather do program stuff, but this is really important. I think, membership, they're all interrelated. And when I hear people express, concern or dismay or frustration about things that aren't working in their unit, they're all tied together. So, I don't get enough volunteers. Well, recruit a bunch more people, a bunch more scouts will come with adults. You draft the adults to help you. That solves that problem. You don't have enough finances. Get more scouts pay more dues, more scouts fundraise, and that helps that problem. Events are being canceled. If we get more people that are enthusiastic, that we can spread the job around of coordinating events like a day camp or a snowcapades or whatever it is. They're all interrelated and they all help each other. So pick a spot and go after it. Membership is where I happen to fall just because I wanted to help people other than my unit grow.